Welcome guys, this is The Beginning After the End, chapter 230. And if you haven't watched the previous chapters yet, go check them out right now, because this story continues directly from there. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. The freezing wind howls across a vast snow-covered wasteland as a caravan of heavily loaded wagons pushes forward through the storm. In the distance, the massive silhouette of the wall slowly emerges through the haze. Inside one of the covered carts, Reynolds sits in complete silence beside Jasmine, both on edge as the wagon rattles through the frozen terrain. Suddenly, the beast pulling their wagon lets out a sharp, panicked cry. Reynolds instantly reacts, shouting for everyone to stay alert, but it's already too late. A violent explosion tears through the snow. The lead wagon is engulfed in flames. "Another ambush!" Reynolds roars, drawing his weapon. As the smoke clears, a grotesque two-headed beast lunges forward. In an instant, the twin horns move into formation. Angela raises her staff and a powerful green vortex spirals into existence, shielding the battlefield with rushing wind. From the blizzard, Alacrian assassins descend like shadows, a blur of deadly precision. Durden holds the front line, creating space as Angela and Helen prepare their attacks. Helen leaps onto a pillar of ice, drawing her bow. Her eyes lock onto a female assassin moving with terrifying speed, deflecting glowing daggers mid-air. Steel clashes, mana explodes, the battlefield erupts into chaos. Then, a massive winged beast drops from the sky. Its shadow swallows the battlefield. Before it can strike, an assassin jumps from its back and drives a blade straight into its neck. Blood sprays across the snow. "Reynolds, stop him!" Another assassin charges toward the supplies. Reynolds steps in without hesitation. His gauntlet ignites in blazing fire. The assassin orders him to move. Reynolds refuses. Helen rains arrows from above. The assassin blocks with a wind barrier, but that moment is enough. Reynolds gathers all his power. His fist becomes a burning meteor and slams forward. Crack! The barrier shatters. The assassin is blasted into the snow, smoke rising from his chest. Silence falls. The battle is over. Reynolds stands, breathing heavily, when he looks up and sees Arthur dragging a captured assassin by the collar, alive, for questioning. Arthur calmly explains they'll send soldiers to collect the beast for research. The veterans stare in disbelief. Reynolds suddenly laughs, throws an arm around Arthur, reminds everyone he's still a lance. Soon after, the massive gates of the fortress open. The caravan finally enters safety. Arthur watches his parents closely. Their teamwork is flawless, years of battle experience, perfectly in sync. But behind his eyes, a quiet fear grows. How long can they keep fighting like this? That night, inside a warm, crowded tavern, the tension fades into laughter and light. Reynolds leans forward, admitting he can't even sense Arthur's core anymore. "How strong did you get?" Arthur smiles slightly. "I reached white core." The entire room goes silent, then erupts. Reynolds pulls him into a proud embrace. Arthur closes his eyes for a moment. Peace, something he didn't expect to feel again. They talk about Ellie, about letters, about home. Arthur realizes something. Ellie never told him about the messages. Alice explains softly. She's in her rebellious phase. Arthur suggests visiting her, but Helen explains security has tightened. Only high-ranking officials are allowed in. Arthur immediately offers to take them himself, but Alice gently stops him, says they don't want to burden him, mentions a new transport system being built. Soon, visiting will be easier. But Arthur isn't convinced. His voice tightens. The road is getting more dangerous. They were just attacked. Reynolds brushes it off, says no one was seriously hurt, that the enemy barely touched him, and that's when Arthur snaps. He raises his voice. "What about next time?" He reminds them Jasmine and Durden were knocked unconscious before. He admits the truth. He and Ellie are constantly worried about them. Silence falls over the table. Heavy, suffocating. Angela quickly stands, pretends to panic about the carriage. Helen follows. They leave, giving the family space. Alice looks at Arthur gently, but firmly, says they're doing their part in the war. Arthur shakes his head, desperate. They're risking their lives. Alice replies softly, "Everyone is, even him." Arthur snaps back, "I can handle it." That's it. Reynolds slams his hand on the table. His eyes burn. He calls Arthur out, asks if he realizes how hypocritical he sounds. He's risking his own life, but wants his family to hide safely? Arthur's voice cracks. "I'm protecting you." He asks what if they die while he's away? What if Ellie dies too, just like Adam? The name hits hard. The air turns cold. Reynolds' voice drops, deadly calm. That's enough. He looks Arthur straight in the eyes, says protecting family matters, but so does living with purpose. Dicathan is their home, and if fighting means dying so Ellie can live a better life, then so be it. Those words hit harder than any attack. Arthur can't respond. His parents turn and walk away, leaving him alone. His hands tremble, gripping the table so hard it cracks under pressure. The emotions inside him explode. In a single burst, he launches into the sky. A massive shockwave tears through the night, and Arthur disappears into the cold darkness above, alone.
Today's story ends here, but the next chapter, it's gonna be insane. So if you enjoyed this, there's another insane manhwa story already on your screen. Go watch it now, before you miss what happens next.